Ace, the son of the infamous Goldie Roger and the second commander of Whitebeard Pirates, arguably the saddest death in the One Piece world, and for the 5 years that he sailed, the Spade Pirates were the most talked about rookies. From turning down the offer to becoming a warlord and to even defeating Hanufada, undeniably it makes sense for him to be the second commander of Whitebeard Pirates. But what if he never found the Flame fruit and traveled the New World without it? In the beginning of the Grand Line till the New World, having Logia type fruits are literally the cheat code, as there are almost no one who is able to use Haki, and majority of the people literally cannot lift a finger against you. To combat this, Sabo learned Fishman Karate and incorporated it into his fighting style, and as a result, with his trusty Iron Pipe, he was able to rise to second in command of the Revolutionary Army, when all the other 4 captains had devil fruits. Also, side note, I'm calling it now, but that Iron Pipe is surely one of the 12 supreme grade swords without being a sword. Drawing from this, I think Ace should have inherited his father's sword, and him trying to master this sword could have been what the whole show revolves around. Zoro only mastered Enma after fighting King, and that itself was a very draining battle, as Enma requires vast amounts of Haki, and Enma is 21 Wazamono sword, so imagine how hard mastering a supreme grade would be. First, to make accurate comparisons, keep in mind that amongst the people who wield supreme grades, one of them was classified as the world's strongest man and the other is the greatest swordsman. So it's safe to assume that initially Ace is just gonna be swinging Ace, as he wouldn't be able to unlock its true powers without using Haki. Being the son of the literal king of pirates, he undoubtedly has Conqueror's Haki, and throughout the series we would have seen unconscious outbursts of this, much like we did with Luffy. However, with Ace, his Haki would resonate with his sword, and we would briefly see powers that would rival the 4 emperors. This scenario is giving Naruto and Kurama flashbacks. Shanks really would even develop a greater interest to the man who wields their captain's sword. Through this journey, he would be forced to learn Haki faster to aid him in battle. In his 5-day battle against Jinbei, it's very likely now that it would not end in a draw, and in the very least, Jinbei would be scarred for life. Ace having a devil fruit at such a young age is more of a burden, as he becomes overly reliant on it, and because he is unable to develop his other abilities further. Shanks, for example, doesn't even have an arm, and yet still one of the strongest characters in the verse. With Ace gaining mastery over, well, Ace, I do think that if he lived long enough, he would replace Marco as vice captain. Assuming that the Ace execution does still happen, although I'm highly conflicted whether he would lose against Blackbeard, since his ability to cancel devil fruit powers is seemingly useless, as there is nothing to take away. On top of that, a man who feels pain amplified getting hit by a divine departure is not surviving that. But from having smoked Jinbei and coming to the point of vice captain, let's assume that he loses against Blackbeard for the sake of completion. Marineford is literally centered around Ace, and after getting freed from those shackles, he would be throwing hands with everyone. Even admirals would struggle to fight against that might. A duel between Mihawk and Ace at that point would be the perfect finisher for the arc. Clash of 2 supreme grade swords, which should remind the world of the battles of Shanks and Mihawk. Assuming that Luffy and Ace have similar growths, Ace is the age where Luffy unlocked Gear 5, and a similar level of that would be to have a significant or almost full mastery over his sword. Whilst I don't see Ace winning the fight, I definitely see it being close. Ace wondered what his purpose in life was and always hated his father for forcing him into this world and being forced to carry his legacy. But instead of becoming the pirate king like his father or helping Whitebeard be the next king, maybe his destiny was to become the world's greatest swordsman, and his duel with Mihawk made him realize that using his father's sword would be a continuation of his legacy, as over time he would understand the reasons of his actions and that he did try his best to ensure that Ace was taken care of. From here onwards, it's literally uncharted territory, as my boy did not make it this far. However, it's safe to assume that he would be by Whitebeard's side till his death and would have led the remnants of his crew, probably under a different name like the Spades, as Whitebeard's legacy was one for him to bear alone. Ace would have been a major powerhouse and even fought against Zoro for the title of strongest, and to see a sibling rivalry rise up with Ace and Luffy would be so peak. I see Ace assisting Sabo with the Revolutionary Army and their conquest against the world government, as Ace would feel strongly against the Celestial Dragons. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video.